call. We had to take a break yesterday, but we are back with our normal call this morning. Guys, a lot of you guys have been asking questions about the new campus. A lot of you guys are working your way through the new platform in the real world, trying to figure out how everything works. We're still ramping up a lot of that stuff. There's a lot of technical stuff on the back end that we are dialing in as we bring people on. So be on the lookout for your invite. Be ready. It's going to be a lot of fun. We're going to be able to talk about things over there and help you guys in a way that we couldn't quite do on Discord, right? So it's a wonderful day. Obviously, there's some changes, some difficulties, some new things we're developing over there. So be patient, hang in there, and stand by as we continue to ramp that up and get that up to speed so it can be the most powerful tool. This is a really cool evolution, right? So there's incremental evolutions and there's systematic systematic evolutions, right? I can add new content. I can incrementally innovate over here on Discord. With the real world, I'm going to be able to evolutionarily I'm going to be able to systematically evolve the content. I'm going to be able to systematically increase the quality of what I'm teaching because I'll have a lot more freedom to bring to bear over there for you. So be excited, look forward to that. But at the same time, be patient as we build out that system. It's going to take some time. But should have pretty much everything ramped up, completely ready, good to go in the next 24 hours. I'm going to check really quick and make sure that the sound is working on this. It looks like it is. Yes. We are good on sound. So let's talk about today's content. So now that we've got housekeeping out of the way, I want to talk with you guys about the idea of a pain threshold. Now, the idea of a pain threshold is something I always kind of understood intuitively. It wasn't until I read Jordan Belfort's The Way of the Wolf that I truly understood it from let's say, a conscious perspective. Now, when people are getting ready to make decisions, when people need to make a change in their life, change is costly, right? We do what we do, and we know what that's like. And we tend to just kind of keep doing what we do. And change requires new investment of brain calories. It requires we think about things differently than we've ever had before. It means we're probably going to have to be uncomfortable in some certain way. There's a certain pain that's induced when you change. So we try not to do it as much as possible. There's also that risk of maybe it won't work, right? So human beings have a bias against change. When you get a human being right out of the box, a normal human being out there in the world, they usually have a bias against change. They're change adverse. And there is a certain threshold that they have to cross in their personal pain to feel like the change is actually worth it, right? The pain of staying the same must be greater than the pain incurred during the change, is a famous quote. So when you're writing and when you're talking with people on a sales call, when you're even managing your own life, you need to pay attention to where their pain threshold is, how bad things have to be before they need to change. And you need to help them feel that pain so that they then can afford or they can justify the pain of changing. Now, if you think about your own life, you'll probably notice the pain threshold come up. You'll probably notice times in your life where things sort of crossed the line and then it was too much. You had to change. You had to do something about it, right? I remember there was one time I was doing a big bulk, right? I was gaining weight, gaining muscle, and I started veered to dirty bulking, right? Just a little bit. I remember there was a moment where I realized that I looked just a little bit flabby. And I keep myself at a pretty sharp standard with that. I remember I crossed that line and I realized that I'd crossed that line. I was like, yep, nope, done. And so I stopped the bulking and went to a little bit of a cut at that point. And that's just a small example of it. You can think of times in your life where that happens. I was talking with a guy the other day, brilliant guy, brilliant coach. And he had spent a lot of time as a coach inside of the dating community, inside of the pickup side of things, right? And he was telling me that he was having a conversation with some other guys, and a big name in the space. I won't say who it was, but he turned to him and said, he's like, guys really only find pickup once they've hit rock bottom. Like, this is the last thing they try. They try getting introduced to people. They try getting an arranged marriage from their parents. They try everything before they decide to invest in this stuff, right? And for every type of person, they have a different pain threshold. You have a different pain threshold from when you need that will inspire change. Your customers will have a different pain threshold, but you need to be aware of it, right? Something that you need to do with your writing is your writing shouldn't alleviate the pain, right? A lot of people tend to do this. They sit down in their selling environment and they're like, oh, cool. Don't worry about your pain. Don't worry about your frustrations because my product will solve all of them. They go right off the bat and just say, sit back, feel good, don't feel pain anymore. And that's actually the complete opposite of what you need to do. You need to help amplify their pain. Let's say the pain threshold to action is here, and you come into the conversation and they start reading your words and their pain is at this level, right? It is your job with your writing to amplify their pain until they pass over into the pain is greater than their pain threshold, and then they act, right? If you come in here and you tell them, don't worry, and you're trying to alleviate their pain and trying to ease their worldview because you're afraid that they're not going to like you, it's going to drop down. You need to find ways to amplify their pain until it passes the pain threshold. One of the key ways to do this is by showing them what their future is going to be like if they do not change, because pain and difficulty, problems only grow over time. Problems don't just magically fix themselves over time. Problems grow. So if you can show them that, hey, what's your life going to look like in a week from now, 2 weeks, a year from now, if nothing changes, what will this problem you're currently facing, how big will the pain be then? Right? If you can do that, you can bring them into the future where their pain is even greater, it will usually help them pass the pain threshold, and they will start acting. Now, again, with all this stuff, it applies when you're writing to your actual readers, it applies when you're performing your sales calls, and it also applies to how you run your own personal life, right? It applies across the board. It applies through all of these 3 different stages of like your persuasion. Now, the fastest way for you to learn how to do this for your clients and for your readers is to perform it on yourself. So, something you can do to practice this, to develop this skill, once you know what it feels like, you can then replicate it with your words for these people. You can replicate it on the sales call. You can replicate it when they read an email or a sales page or read a Facebook ad. You can replicate this feeling. But first, you must know what it feels like for yourself, and you need to learn how to control it for yourself. So I want you all to take some time and think about something you need to change, something you need to do, perhaps something you've been putting off, something that's important that you know is important, but you haven't taken action on it yet because of some ridiculous reason, some justification you have in your brain. Now think of this thing. It might be something with your fitness. It might be something with your relationships. It might be something with the way you're going through the boot camp. It might be about how you're performing your outreach. It might be any number of these things, right? Now once you've kind of figured out something or some things that you have been putting off, some things that you know that you should do, I want you to think about the pain that you currently feel around that problem, right? Think about the problem. Think about how it affects your life. Again, most people do mental gymnastics to avoid that pain so then they don't have to work. And you probably have in your life. We all tend to do this, right? I myself included. If I'm not careful, I'll catch myself doing mental gymnastics to avoid something difficult. So identify the problem. Think about some of the mental gymnastics you've been doing to kind of avoid that pain inside of your mind. And instead, I want you to embrace that pain and think about the actual pain you are feeling in your life right now around that specific problem. Think about what difficulties, what opportunities you don't have. Think about the limitations you're currently facing, and think about how you currently feel every time you bump against this problem. Now, I want you to imagine that you never fix this problem, and I want you to fast forward a year down the road. And in fact, the problem isn't just the way it is now. It is worse because it's gone over a year and you are more and more entrenched in this negative behavior. And how does that feel? What does your life look like a year from now if this problem keeps getting worse and worse day after day, right? Think about it. A year from now, and you're still in this situation. You can think of other people who have surpassed you. You can think of yourself in your negative situation. Think about what that feels like. Now fast forward at 10 years. 10 years, a decade from now. Add 10 years onto your age. And imagine you're facing this problem in even greater magnitude than at 20 years, 30. Fast forward all the way until your deathbed when you're 85, you're lying there, you're dying, and you look back over your life and you think about this problem that you never solved. How does that feel? Now, if you think about it and you really immerse yourself in this experience, you will notice that your pain around this issue will start to rise. There will be an uneasiness inside of your mind. Eventually, it will cross a point where you are forced to act, right? You should not be able to sit still when you think about your problems. When you think about your difficulties in your current situation, your goals, and the discrepancy between where you are now or where you'd like to be, it should make it to where you cannot sit still because your pain threshold is above your actual current pain is above your pain threshold. You must act, right? Take some time, go through this exercise, think about how you feel around your pain. Amplify that pain for yourself until you reach the point where you must act. And then you've learned how it works. You know how it feels. You know how to perform this action on yourself. You can turn around, ask these same questions, do these same type of exercises You can do things to amplify the pain in the people that you are seeking to help so that they will be willing to take action, so they can invest the time and energy to actually change, to do the things they know they should do, the things that are actually really, really good for them. You are there as a copywriter, as a persuader, as a master of human influence to help people make decisions that are going to improve their life through skillfully manipulating their emotions, skillfully helping them go through a process where they can wake up to their problems and perform the correct and necessary actions to achieve what they want in life. That is one of the reasons I truly love copywriting. That's one of the reasons I truly love human persuasion, is because at the heart of it is a desire to help and serve other people. It's a value exchange. You provide a significant amount of value for these people, and in return, they provide value for you. And that's how the world works. It's all a value exchange. It's all a chance for you to help others and in turn to receive value back. And as you continue to do this on yourself, not only will your life improve, but your ability to help other people, those you care about in your personal life, will improve. You'll help thousands and thousands of people at scale to improve their lives. And there's a really powerful fulfillment that comes along with that, along with just an increased amount of personal financial freedom, right? Understand pain thresholds, learn how to amplify pain. The same thing works with desire too. The flip coin of this is desire, right? Pain and desire are linked. They're two sides of the same coin. There's a threshold, right? Once they desire something enough, they'll want it. Desire is almost like it's like the pain of not having that thing that you want now. It's still pain, right? It's an odd emotion. But as you learn how to manipulate pain and desire, as you learn how to help people pass their threshold for action, you basically have the key to the universe. You then can help people at a massive scale, and you could be rewarded at a massive scale. So keep this in mind. Think about this exercise for yourself. Run this exercise on yourself. Get a feel for how this works. Continue to study. Continue to go through the program. We're going to be on Discord and the new platform for some time until we have everything ironed out and you guys can be completely on the new platform. I'm going to be spending most of my time over the next few days getting that up to speed, getting that dialed in so we can have the most wonderful experience possible over there for you. So in the meantime, keep the work up, keep going through the program, keep working with your Legion. All that's going to be reflected over in the new program. We're going to have all the boot camp over there. We're going to have all the Legions over there. We're going to do all the same things we're doing in Discord plus more. So hang in there, keep working, and we'll get this up to speed and ramped up in a way that makes it a powerful opportunity for all of you. So it's been a good call. We will definitely do this again tomorrow. I'll talk to you then.